Well, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
Hey everybody, I'm Ziegler with Couch Nerds, and I'm joined here with
Ricardo
and Dylan.
And tonight we're doing a new segment we'd like to call
Critic
and the Casual.
And Ricardo's 2 cents.
And this is going to be a new review segment that we wanted to try out with different movies and video games. And even though it's been almost 2 months, from the time of this review.
It's still relevant.
Yeah, it's still relevant. But it's been almost 2 months since the movie came out. But since it's still around Halloween time, we figured...
it's still in theaters, actually.
Yeah, and it's still in theaters. We figured it would be a good time to talk about the 2017 remake of Stephen King's It.
Just so you get an idea of what the series is going to be like, the reason why it's called Critic and the Casual is because, like, anytime me, Ziegler, always have, like, a spurt on talk about the movies we saw, he even made this point to me that I always look at things from a critic standpoint of view, and he goes in by the average moviegoer. So, like, we have our different disputes about, like, what we thought about certain movies. For instance, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that just recently came out. That might be a review we might do later, not sure.
Yeah, as enjoyable as Dylan found it, I'm pretty sure I liked the movie more than him, and he had a lot more things that irked him compared to me, so...
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Yeah, that's about how you felt, didn't you,
That
Ricardo?
little fucking Groot, little adorable Groot. But anyways, that's not about it. We're talking about It 2017, as Ziegler put it out, and wow, it's like I've been thinking about how to start off this actual this dispute, and I really just wanted to say, like, how about we go right into it and just talk about, like, let's go into piece by piece. How about that? So, who wants to go first?
I'd just like to say, holy shit, they ripped off Georgie's arm.
Oh my god, yes! Like,
spoiler, by the way, but I'm pretty sure YouTube and Facebook has that scene covered for about 90% of you guys.
The moment something comes out in any format of media,
I honestly,
the day after.
Like, it took me until now to see the movie. I saw that Georgie scene about a month ago.
No, I have not seen anything on it but the actual trailers. So when I saw, like, Georgie reach for the boat and his arm got actually torn off and he was crawling away, I was like, oh my god!
Also, speaking of this, quick disclaimer, obviously we're going to be talking about spoilers, at least mildly, throughout the movie.
What are you doing here? Go see the movie.
Yeah, fuck us. Go see the movie. It'll be out for another 3 months.
Yeah. It's one of the best movies of all time. So said everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently.
Oh,
I know I got a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes, which...
Yeah, I don't follow them.
I hate going to Rotten Tomatoes.
I hope it doesn't
dread
pull the fucking Kingsman Golden Circle with the sequel. Hopefully the sequel's alright, but before we get to that, yeah.
So the Georgie scene was really... I honestly was not expecting that. I knew the movie was rated... Well, okay, I thought going in the movie was going to be at least either PG-13 or R, but the moment I actually, like, saw that Georgie scene, I was like, okay, so there's an R. There's a hard R.
And popcorn!
Oh, okay, so I'm not sure how you guys felt about that scene, but for me, I really love that scene. I thought, like, the actor who played Pennywise, which is, Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, he did a terrific performance in a lot of ways.
That point, like, to me, the entirety of the movie, I never once felt scared. I was never afraid. There was never any moment where a jump scare came out or any of the scenery felt scary to me. It felt creepy to me. It felt ominous. And that scene probably represented the best because, like, he's a clown, right? And everyone's been saying, like, oh, fucking, like, he's so scary. I'm like, yeah, but a clown should be scary. But to me, clowns are more creepy. So, like, I want to see a creepy fight, but one I could also see, like, oh, he could definitely lure a kid to, like, his lair, you know?
But a really brilliant tactician as far as being a monster.
Yeah.
Like, the way he preys on kids.
I absolutely loved how he used, like, what he did to Georgie. Like, honestly, it was very fucked up, and I'm so sad that kid died.
I love... real quick, can I say this?
Yeah.
I just love how that whole scene with Georgie, like,
played
him, getting the boat, being with his brother, and then the parents just not giving a fuck and letting their kid in the rain.
Oh, like, I almost hate every parent in this movie.
Yeah.
There's, like, one parent that I think I didn't hate, and that's because they were briefly in there and they said like 2 lines.
Yeah.
But it's just
because their son's an asshole.
Yeah. But the way they did it, it sets the tone perfectly because even that old lady that you see, she sees the kid in the rain.
Which I love how we never saw again.
The adults don't give a shit about these kids.
But like, oh my god, dude, that scene got me wrapped up, and especially when he was like, pop, pop, pop. I was like, oh my god, he's so joyful, and then he just switched it off like an actual switch, like a light switch, like pop, pop. Okay, get serious now. I want you in me.
I need an adult?
I am an adult.
Yeah, grabs him.
Oh my god, but like... Okay, I think we focused a lot on that scene, that we really like that scene. But I guess let's go to like... How far passing was the time again from when Georgie was taken to the actual time when
1 year, I think?
Was it 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while, I think.
Oh shit. Oh man.
I mean, I didn't think it was that long,
months.
but... Yeah, probably a year.
It was almost a year. It was a school year at least, because remember the bully said that like basically, we didn't fuck with you all year because your brother went missing.
Isn't that confusing as fuck that the bully has principles in that one moment?
No,
but then complete psychopath.
No, exactly,
the rest of the movie?
Exactly. Your brother was missing, and I feel for you, bro. But now that it's over, I'm gonna cut you.
It was like a mafia style fucking. All right, we gave you the respect you needed. Now we're gonna fucking get the horse head in your head,
honestly,
bitch.
that like when that scene first happened, like I remember everyone was saying, "Oh my god, this bully's a psychopath. This bully's a psychopath." I'm like, when that scene happened, I was like, "Wow, no, he actually seems pretty cool." Like, I let you go for the year because as grievance for your brother, but now. It's open season on you, man. And all he did was like lick his hand and like put his face on. I'm like,
while the cops watching, the cop dad.
I was like, that was mildly annoying, but that wasn't that bad.
How is it that your dad's a cop and he's your dad and he's bad at both of his jobs?
But no, so the introduction of the kids, basically, you had Bill in the beginning who was introduced. Mm-hmm. I've heard so many people like talk about the stutter, but I didn't know people actually didn't like his portrayal of that.
Well, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I think people just thought he wasn't as interesting as he could be.
I just think it was one of those things in the books that they didn't want to cut for the fans, but at the same time, it's like they wanted to portray it in a way that was
well to me, I always look at everything from not so much a realistic point of view, but as like in a point of view of like, okay, have I met someone that's like him? And I have. I've met someone who's like they're known as the Losers Club. So each of them in their own right are somehow socially awkward and like, have something about them that everyone else would be like, look at that freak, in Bill's case...
look at that guy Naruto running through the hallway.
With his fucking arms behind his back.
I still don't know how that became as popular. But no, like in Bill's case, like, he's kind of nervous. He has a stutter, and every time he speaks, of course he has a stutter, but like you also hear it when he like how he moves and how his actions are. He always had his hands to his sides, kind of. He was always jolted in his movement. Even the way he ran, whenever he saw that Bethany was gone, he was like, "Oh God!" and he started waving his arms around. Yeah. I think the only time I didn't like Bill was nearing the end, whenever like the 3 scenes he kept nutting up. Somehow kept putting his friends more and more in danger, and he was like, no, I need to go find Georgie. And I'm like, that's cool, you want to find your dead brother, that's fine, you want to have closure, but you see what this is doing to your friends. Did you just see what that motherfucker did to Stan?
Yeah. That guy's probably gonna kill himself in the next movie because of that.
God, I feel so bad. That's the Jewish kid, right?
Yeah, that's the Jewish kid that had like literally almost no lines. It was in the movie, like he was in the movie, but
they could have gave him way more to do.
He was a cardboard cutout.
But they kept putting more scenes with Bill and Bev.
Well, okay, so in the original miniseries, the main focus was of course on Bev and Mike, their characters a lot, and then when Mike died as an adult, it started focusing on Bev and Bill and what the fuck is his name? Eddie. It started focusing them a lot more. The other characters were kind of there on the side, but they were still all had interactions with each other. And since it was a miniseries and each episode was like an hour long, it had more time to focus on them individually. In the movie, of course, I didn't feel like this movie was 2 hours and like 20 minutes long, right? 210, 220.
Something close to that.
Yeah, so like the movie, you had, of course, you have to have your main focused characters on them. And while I do agree that's a thing, maybe at that point you should have cut the cast down just a bit. Because even though you don't always have to go bare by the book, or by whatever you're referencing. You can take some things out, and that's why I feel like you had the liberty to take maybe one or two kid out. It's cool that you wanted this big cast, but because you're working with this big cast, you can't focus on everyone, because then you're going to stretch the story out a bit too long, and maybe the runtime won't be all there. Which, honestly, I thought the movie felt short.
Yeah, honestly, I think they could have cut a couple of scenes out to make room for Eddie's backstory. One of the things, or not Eddie,
Mike.
Stan.
Oh, Stan
Didn't really get a backstory.
No, yeah, he was Jewish. He couldn't read the Torah.
Yeah, exactly. They could have gotten rid of that for an interesting backstory. I don't think... I didn't fucking care that he didn't know how to read his fucking...
Torah.
Yeah.
No, I felt that was off. Like, that was like the one scene we had with him.
By the way, wasn't that counterintuitive to what the father wanted? He's like, "Oh, you're not learning enough. I'm taking the book away from you, so you can't learn more."
If you're not studying the Torah, then you might as well not study it at all.
Why don't you just give him his own
Dad.
version? Like, what the fuck? Are you cheap or something?
I'm gonna become a Taoist.
I'm gonna become a Buddhist monk, then I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll shave off all my hair, and it'll cause me to not kill myself.
You'll be pissed off when I light myself on fire.
But no, like, so, okay, I guess we kind of talked about Stan now at that point. But for me, I say the character that was literally used the least, at least for the first two halves of the the first third and then the second third, was Mike. Like, they introduced Mike so early in the movie. Then we saw him again briefly near like the ending of the first third, and then he was gone. Then he reappeared. They're like, "Hey, isn't that one homeschool kid's bike? Oh yeah, he hasn't been shown for like 35 minutes. Let's go check on him. He's getting his ass beat by the fucking bully kids. How they found him, I don't even know. Why was he out there? I don't even know either. But then they're beating on him. They bring him back, and he kind of just stands around for a good while until finally he reveals his backstory. And I'm like, that would have been kind of a little bit better to have actually seen or like hinted at more so throughout the movie.
I mean, you kind of saw his backstory.
You saw
when he gets like attacked by Pennywise for the first time, or Pennywise
they hint the fact that there was some burning involved, but that's not enough to say like, you know, what really he was afraid of. And they said that, like, you know, to his grandfather, like, "Oh, you're not my dad," in the beginning of the scene. But what I'm saying is the fact that just those two scenes don't cut it for me, because I feel like his character could have played out a little bit more, because those two scenes were very interesting to me. Why are you being so defensive about your father? What does this significance of the scene have it? And then they cut him out for like 35 minutes to almost 40 minutes just for him to explain everything, and they're like, "Wow, that's a story." Oh shit, a clown!
Oh yeah, wasn't there something we were supposed to do with that clown?
Oh yeah, fuck what Mike just said, let's go. I don't know, it just felt awkward to me, like they just kind of added the scene in, and like, just to give Mike a backstory that wasn't actually like shown. Like,
yeah.
Everyone else was kind of talked about in some manner of way through actual like the story itself and the visuals, but then Mike's was just kind of like, "I'm gonna tell you everything that I feel right now. Stare at the ground, and then let's just move on."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, and don't get me wrong, like, obviously he doesn't like die immediately after, and I'm not trying to compare apples to Brussels sprouts, but it was just like in Suicide Squad, where all the characters got like at least a 2 or 3 minute backstory, and then Slipknot shows up and he's like, "That's Slipknot. He can climb anything."
I feel like Stan's...
And then they just pan to the next screen, and Stan and Mike were the two halves of Slipknot that could climb anything.
Wait, so is Stan the one that dies?
Maybe. We don't know if they're gonna change it. I mean, I'm assuming in the book he dies. I don't know everything in the book, but
again, the second half is where everything really starts hitting me more for a loop, because I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I enjoyed some things that happened, like a lot of the scares.
Are you talking about once they reach the house or prior to the house?
Prior to the house. I'm talking about literally to the point where they're actually starting to see this group come together.
So pretty much from the point that they go to Mike.
Yeah, they go to Mike. And basically from that... Okay, let's even go a little bit before that. The water hole scene, when they jump into the lake. the transition for once ever she cut off her hair, Beverly, because Beverly cuts off her hair because
Yeah,
like,
it goes from intense to like melancholy.
it's not even that for me. So like Beverly cuts off her hair to symbolize like
No,
you
not
know
melancholy. She was the word.
she of
Are you
course
talking about a happy thing?
Yeah.
Whimsical?
Yeah, thank you.
her dad's a creep. Let's not kid ourselves. He's a fucking creep. But like, so he really likes her hair. He likes his beauty about her. So she cuts off her hair to basically like take away that beauty. But he's like, you don't control this. And after that one big scene of her emotional breakdown, we cut to these 5 white pale kids in tiny whities are trying to like spinning into a lake and getting ready to jump.
Yeah, that scene was kind of uncomfortable. Could they not afford bathing suits?
Here's where I think that scene should have started. Should have started with just Bev jumping in and then the rest jumping in after her. And then there we wouldn't have seen those kids in the whitey tighties for so long.
To me, it's not even the fact that like they showed them in whitey tighties. I have no problem.
It's the
with
fact that they
I got
held
a
on
problem
it
with
for
that.
about 5 minutes.
I got a big fucking problem.
Well,
Like, I don't know how many people, even out of the people who watch
Like
us, I don't know how
a-
many people actually, like, when they were kids,
You see the fat kid's
swam.
nipples? The fucking belly button nipples? That was hilarious.
on Ben.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people actually, like, when they were kids, swam in underwear over a bathing suit or shorts.
I didn't have it. Well, okay, I started as a little kid, like 5. I would wear my underwear as a bathing suit. When I got around like 7, that's when I started wearing swim trunks.
Exactly. But I mean, I don't know, it just felt really uncomfortable because they're all like super young kids and they're all in underwear and it feels like it's just like
It was a good 15 to 30 seconds hard on them, just like
No,
I know, but
even longer because like,
like,
you had the
feels
you
like
had the
it, right?
front
Yeah.
shot and then it panned up and took them to the back shot.
I don't know if I'm like overreacting on this or I'm
I'm
like
not. I'm pissed.
drilling
Put
it
my
in.
money back.
I don't know if I'm like holding on to this
No, I'm
too
just
hard or
kidding.
drilling into this too much, but like it felt like it was like a hair and a half away from softcore child pornography.
I'm not gonna.
And I don't know how many other movies I've seen with kids in their underwear like that, and I don't know how long those scenes actually lasted in the movies. They just like panned on them standing
there's
there.
like no real comparison,
But, like,
is there?
They could have cut at like sure. Pan in on them in their underwear, then pan in on Bev showing up, and then have them jump in the pool, or not the pool, in the lake.
that was some Harvey Weinstein type
just
shit.
don't have it focused on them for almost 5 minutes.
Okay.
Like I was just like, why was this in here?
Dude, no, that's some Harvey Weinstein type shit. It's like this. How bad do you want to be in the movie? How bad do you want to be in this movie? Would you get in your underwear for the whole public to see?
No, we are not taking
They
it
should
to
all
that
be
level.
proud of their
We are
bodies,
not-
but I'm just saying I don't want to watch it.
No, these two have 2 different feelings, like
took
complete
shit off.
different feelings than what I'm about to say.
I just think it's not okay.
Okay, I agree. Yes, they kept the camera on way too long with these kids in this underwear, but that's not what I'm focusing on. My thing is the fact that 1, we went from a complete like breakdown scene with Beth to these scenes about these kids in their underwear about to jump in the lake. That's fine, but the transition from point A to point B wasn't that done well for me. 1 and 2, how the hell did Beth show up there? How did she know to show up there? Why did
They
she show up
probably
there?
told her.
But we didn't know they told her.
And before people
I
think
guess
that
you
I'm
could
just
only speculate
focusing,
that a lot of time passed.
Was that like exactly? That's what I'm saying. Like
I'm guessing this all took place like 3 months or not 3 months, at least a month and a half.
I want to
within
say
summer.
at least a good amount of
Yeah,
time of summer, but that's the thing that's the thing that I don't like about that movie. The movie the passing of time. You feel like the passing of time is going by day, or even like hour by hour from like how they go from daylight and how it takes them forever to get to night. Which
Yeah.
we go to like night once, so that's why it feels like it went from like day to like one day to passing to the second day happening. But the way they're transitioning, it seems like it's passing by week or like close to like 2 days to 3 days and stuff like that.
That's fair. Better
That-
transitioning bathing suits next time. All of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, but again, the underwear scene bothered them. It didn't bother me as much. I didn't bother me that much. I focused a lot more.
You could cut that out, just that part before they jump in. All right.
But that brings
and it would still.
That's
be the
another
same.
scene they could have cut from Mike and Stan's backstory. That's another scene they could have cut. They didn't need that one.
Yes, again, I agree. They could cut some scenes down, or at least not even put them at all in there to make more room for some more character development or some characters' backstory. But anyways, that's not my main focus.
Well, for the transitioning, though, would you prefer a phone call?
Well, no, I wouldn't have preferred a phone call. I would have just preferred, like, you know, at the end, before the scene where Beverly, like, went back home, Bill and her were talking. Like, if you would have just said, you know, so me and the guys were thinking about going to the watering hole later, and just like, if you want to come, that's cool too, you know. We'll probably be there around this time.
You know, they could have put it in the postcard.
There you go.
Around there.
Or that's what I'm saying. Like, some explanation of how and why she went there, as to just like, we're naked. Oh shit, a girl's here. She jumped out first.
She's bolder than we are.
But I guess, like, to me, my favorite character in the entire movie is probably Beverly, because she probably had the most growth in the entire movie to me, besides Bill.
I think you two know who I like the best.
And there goes the next issue.
Eddie, right?
No. Fuck.
You didn't like Eddie?
Oh, I loved Eddie. I really did like
Spaghetti?
Eddie. Eddie felt like a very, like... He felt like he was in his character. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, he was raised by a mother who, like, couldn't let this child go, so she needed to make up an illness for him to make it feel like he's weaker. Like, she needed him to be codependent on her. So Eddie felt like that character to me. Like, he was always nervous. He was always, like, you know, having a fear or a panic attack of some kind. I'm pretty sure maybe the kid didn't even have any asthma. Maybe there's just another thing that his mom told him he had, and he's like, oh shit, I'm having a panic attack. He felt like he was in his skin, like in his character. So that's what I really liked about Eddie. Yeah, he got a little, like, too annoying with, like, oh, you guys are in dirty water, you get some sort of, like, staph infection.
Well, I mean, he was a germaphobe.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, at times, I'm using that as an example. Eddie was probably my third favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, he
honestly.
was great.
Let's talk about these guys' favorite character.
You want to go first, or should I?
You can go ahead.
Alright. My favorite character was Richie. Oh my god, I saw so much of myself. That little trash talking.
That's why you liked him!
Well, of course, Dylan! People tell me to shut the fuck up all the time. I've literally gotten teachers to say that to me. Alright? It's just the way
I didn't know he had to be the most simplest.
Yeah, just the way he projects his manliness up, you know? It really worked for me. But on top of that, it not only was, you know, it was a facade, but it was just something to keep him entertained. He even fucks around in the background with that fucking tuba. You remember?
Oh yeah. Okay. I thought that was a tuba.
He fucked around with that tuba, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
Okay. No, I thought. Okay.
You know what? I did actually see a little bit of you in him too, because I remember seeing that scene where Billy went to meet him at the arcade, and he was getting his ass handed to him in Street Fighter, just like you. You get your ass handed to you in every game you play.
Yes. He had his priorities on video games and girls.
By the way,
and he made the stupidest jokes.
Kudos to them actually having the Street Fighter 1 game in there. That was pretty cool. But no, like, okay, so the entire movie I kept talking about how Richie was pissing me off, how I wanted to get decked in the mouth. I love the scene when he got hit with a rock and that fucking weird slow motion.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He got, like, the most shit beat out of him out of everybody. I
For
think
the first half,
yeah,
I did not like Richie.
No, it's understandable. He's not supposed to be likable.
No, I know, but like,
I thought he was pretty funny.
But
somewhat
I
of
didn't
an
think
underdog.
He was funny. I didn't think it was funny. I think it was actually kind of annoying. And he was that, like, guy. He's like, "Hey, I just talked about your mom. Whoa, yeah, just made a joke about your sister you don't have. Yeah."
But I think that works more to his advantage when you go to the end of the movie.
Pretty sure everybody had that one friend who always made those jokes as a kid. Hell, I made those jokes as a kid at some point. Well, fuck you too. You're still hanging out with me, and I used to make those jokes all the time. You used to make those
jokes, but you actually knew when to stop. I'm talking about characters who didn't know when to stop. Richie, they were in, like, actual, like, situations.
You tell me to stop all the time.
Yeah. Now we're just Now we're just characters. We're just fucking characters to you. Wait, he's gonna write us off?
I really look like this. No, but that's where it goes to the next part.
Yeah. By the way, that kid's name is Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, he's from Stranger Things,
right?
Yeah,
from Stranger Things. That is one of the most badass last names I've ever.
No, that's a great name. But look,
Wolfhard.
Hard.
I might.
Why is he so hard?
He's a wolf.
I'm agreed, and I'm agreed to both sharing you guys' love for Richie, because even though the first half I didn't like him, as soon as we started getting to the second half,
Yeah, when he starts getting the fear, he didn't get any enough of the fear.
It's not even the fear that he started feeling.
I'm just saying it would have made him more relatable.
It's not even the fear that he started getting. Like, I noticed that he was like one of the last ones to actually see Pennywise.
Yeah, so he was actually the most skeptical.
Yeah.
So he was actually like through the audience's eyes.
So, but like what really got me the most for when Richie started hitting me is that even though he had the fear, even though he started like being the one that would look like he was gonna puss out the most, he was still cracking them jokes. And like he started getting some good zingers and one-liners during that point, and I was like,
yeah. Though I will say there was one missed opportunity for a joke.
Which?
When he opened that chest to see the dummy, you should have said something along the lines of, "Oh, well, I guess I'm the dummy." Close it, and then fucking it pops out. Just something. There was a joke that could have worked.
What if it would have said, "Shut the fuck up" at that point?
Like literally, he's like, "Well, I guess I'm the dummy." Pennywise's mouth, like hand immediately goes out. Shut the fuck up. But no, like, and then I went back to the rest of the first half about Richie, and my opinion started slowly changing about him in the first half too. I was like, you know what? I might be inclined to agree with Carter on this. It is just a facade. It is just a thing of him trying to be like that character. Like, even though he's saying all these things, he's acting this way. In some shape or form, he does mean what he's saying, but he's put him up front. So I'm like, you know what? I like Reggie too.
Yeah, he ain't bad.
Like, I don't have much to say about the characters as far as why I like them so much. But
they felt genuine.
Yeah, definitely. Like, they actually, like, once they got together, they felt like a real group of friends. Richie wasn't my favorite. I enjoyed him. He was a good character to me.
I didn't like how like some of them were just kind of tossed into the group like fucking sacks of potatoes.
Honestly, I'd feel like probably, I'd say probably Bill was probably my favorite character, and as uninteresting as he could come off, like. That, like, Ricardo saw a lot of him in Richie. I saw a lot of me in Bill. Yeah. Like, he has the emotion for the situation. He seems very awkward most of the time, like me. And, like, I can understand why he does all this shit for Georgie. He wants to believe that his brother's still alive. No, I don't understand why he would... like do some of the things he does towards the end over abandoning people that he's with and possibly getting them killed.
I love that scene when Beverly's floating up in the air.
Beverly sees Georgie. I'll come back for you.
Yeah.
Leaves.
Dude, a lot of the CGI in this movie.
And then you just see Bev hovering like, what the fuck?
I had a problem with only 2 CGI moments in this movie. Just 2. One being which the headless boy, even though the way he was jolting and moving, I found creepy. Yeah. When he actually started running at Ben, I was like, man, that's some fake ass shit right there. That's really noticeable.
I think that goes along well with the story because that was his first illusion for that kid. So when you build up the fear, that's like a level 1 spell. It's not going to look too good.
And the second one was I can't really chalk this one up to CGI. I can just chalk it up to Photoshop. Was the clown face in the picture book? It just felt too off to me. Just felt way too off. I know
some of that was filler for me.
But also Ben in this sense. Like Ben was a pretty okay character. He was just like the rest of them. He was socially awkward. But like I kind of agree with some people have been putting out. It was like, so you come to the town, you make no friends. So the first thing you do is investigate the town history. What the fuck?
Also,
everybody has
kids on the block.
There's always kids that have weird interests.
No, and I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like literally what he does correlate to the story. Just so happens to. I'm saying like what he does just so happened to correlate with the rest of them. It's like, oh,
yeah, sure, it could be too convenient or coincidental, but like I said, everybody has a weird hobby that someone was like, why would you have that hobby as a kid?
Yeah. Though I gotta say,
for you it was pulling off the tops of Kool-Aid bottles and pretending they were spaceships.
You know, I'm always sad that I tell you about that because you bring that up anytime
you can. The plastic twist-offs?
Yeah, the plastic twist-offs from the Kool-Aid Jammer ones.
Yeah, I used to suck on those.
They used to be in the shape of a plane. Choo 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 choo.
See? Ben's
How
hobby
dare you
seems more
tell
realistic.
people not to use their
And that's not a hobby. It just so happens that whenever I was drinking Kool-Aid Jammers,
It's
I
a
played
hobby.
with it.
You do stuff with it and you have fun with it. It's a hobby.
I'm not saying anything.
It's just
really,
imaginative.
No, but I'm not really saying anything bad against Ben.
Or
I'm
like
just
me,
so-
my
I'm
hobby
just-
is drinking.
I'm just saying that the
Jerking it.
situation played out too well for the advantage of that. I would have preferred it if like Ben was like just like he wasn't so much investigated of this shit, but like I don't know, like if he wasn't doing it for like maybe his mom was very strict and like wanted him to study a lot, and he just so happened to have been bored and started looking this
What
stuff
if he
up.
wanted to be a history professor?
Well, again, we don't know that, but I'm just saying, like, I would have felt if it was a lot more. I guess motivation, exactly. Not just being like, I got no friends. Let's look up the history of fucking dairy. I don't know. I just felt it was off to me. It wasn't as big of a deal. It's not gonna like it's gonna take
Fair
out
enough.
major points to the movie.
I mean, the only thing I had a problem wise with Ben was like the relationship with him and Bev went literally nowhere.
well,
There was signs of infatuation between the two, especially with the poetry and how like he was doing stuff for her, and then obviously the fucking kiss that wakes her up from the dead-like coma. And I know that at least in the original, during the adult period at the end of the series, him and Bev hook up, to my knowledge.
I liked most of the effects with the clown though. Most of it with the actual like it clown.
with fucking Pennywise himself.
Yeah, Pennywise.
I loved. He was fucking great. I don't like comparing characters to characters. Like, of course, like which Wonka's better, Gene Wilder. Which Joker is better, most likely fucking
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, Romero.
Shut up. You just like him for the Carl Bunga sin.
You would.
Yeah, dude, Joker's a killer surfer.
Anyways,
Killer waves,
but
bro.
fucking but no, like
He never shaved his mustache.
in the
I
case
always
of
hated him for that.
in the case of Tim Curry versus I'm gonna butcher
Bill
his name.
Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. I was gonna say I'm gonna butcher his name because I'm not gonna be able to keep pronouncing that. I gotta give it to Skarsgård. Even though they intended for the clown to be more scary than funny, he was a good blend of both. He may have not been intentional, but whoever said something not being like intentional wasn't still good and put up to an advantage of someone.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I definitely.
I love the execution of the contortionist scene.
Oh, yeah.
Comes out of
Oh,
the fridge.
that scene.
That was
like,
probably one of the best shot and one of the creepier scenes with Pennywise.
If it wasn't for the fridge, honestly, if it wasn't for the fridge, I would have been like, "Shit, are you actually a contortionist?" Because like you could tell the fridge's framing was like it was CG'd, but like still I was like, damn, that's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But no, he did a phenomenal job as Pennywise, and I loved his voice. I loved kind of like the weird like Satanistic time where like he would hear like the verb of his bottom tone going up, while another one's going down.
He would never sound ferocious or overly whimsical. He always sounded slightly happy with a main level of calm, or incredibly desperate and hungry.
And even once ever like he would hit that point of like getting like his character, like the clown would get serious because like he's getting desperate.
Yeah,
he still had that kind of whimsy to him. He like at the end of the scene, he's like, "I'll take Bill with me, and all of you too, or you can leave, and I'll just take Bill for me."
Yeah, he's got my name in real life. I want to bond with him.
Can you imagine if fucking Pennywise though pulled out a gun?
He's like, "I'll shoot him! I swear!"
Everything would have gotten at that end.
Oh god, he's got a gun, guys. We can't fight guns.
Okay, we're out.
Yeah, we're done. Sorry, Bill. What the fuck? What you guys leave me? You just see him like they leave. He's like, "Okay, they're gone."
And then he fucking pulls it and it says bang.
Dang it. He's like, "I got you, Bill." He's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch."
It was just a prank, bro.
It should have ended.
Like he got freaked out. Like he was getting so freaky and like desperate and like twitchy that like I swear he took it personally when fucking Richie told him that his house was a crack house. And he literally looked at the kids like, "Do I look like a crackhead?"
Final verdict for this movie.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
My really favorite part was when Richie got the baseball bat and just became such a ballsy motherfucker at the end.
Swing away, Adam. Swing away.
And you brought me to this crack house. Now I have to kill this fucking clown.
I'm sorry. I think I gotta put that scene. It just like fucking. He was like, "You brought me to this crack house." I'm not a crackhead.
Bill, But, Billy Boy, am I a crackhead? Do you
you
guys
look-
think I'm a crackhead? Now I'm gonna
God.
kill this fucking clown!
No, he tosses Bill back to them. I'm not a crackhead. He takes off the mask and it's been a crackhead the entire time.
Fuck you guys, I'm going back to my crack hole!
Then he does the exact same Will scene, but he says, "I need crack."
Instead of fear and dies, now he's like, "Can you spare some crack?"
I'm
But
just
no,
imagining
anyways.
the hands and you don't see Pennywise's head, and when he looks up, it's just Tyrone Biggums.
But no, okay, so final verdict of the movie, honest like final ratings. I guess we'll do with Ricardo, then Ziegler, then me.
All right, for my 2 cents, I would definitely give it a multiple viewing. I loved it, and I will definitely watch it again for Halloween.
Is that your highest rating?
Yeah, that's my highest rating.
Oh
Multiple
wow.
viewing.
Okay, shit. Multiple
If it's
viewing.
worth
cool.
watching again, it's good enough.
I agree. I agree. Multiple viewings is like a pretty damn good rating. So Ziegler.
Even though I had some issues with certain things, the movie itself kept me entertained, I'd say 90 to 95% of the way through. And anything that I wasn't, like, enjoying, usually, at the very least, aside from the swimming scene, ended pretty fast so I could get back into stuff I like. And all in all, it was definitely an enjoyable movie. I would watch it at least one more time.
So what's your rating?
It's definitely an enjoyable movie.
Oh right, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot how your rating system go. Honestly, like this movie I was walking in this movie with so much idea of like not to focus on the hype that people putting in behind this, and other critics and people were saying like it's not worth the hype, it's not worth it at all. This movie isn't as good as people saying. The original is better and all this stuff. And you know me, I always have to try to like look past all that, but it was kind of hard. I was going in with this movie kind of a bias in the beginning, but just like Bill Skarsgård showed with Pennywise, he charmed me. He charmed me so well. And this movie's not getting a perfect from me, but it is getting my second best rating. Box office hit. I can see why this movie is doing as well as it does. I can clearly see the cliches. I can clearly see the problems with it. One of my biggest problems with this movie is the transitions and the lack of actual time framing, the lack of conversation these kids are having with each other, understanding why these kids are in these certain areas. But I'm overlooked all that because honestly, even though I have a problem with Mike's character and Stan's character not being there enough, the rest of them just kind of brought all that together for me, and Pennywise's character brought that together for me. I hated the parents, but there's a reason for why you hate the parents. There's a reason for why these kids are usually alone.
Yeah.
Why you feel like the kids kind of own the town, and that's what is why a lot of people like Stephen King's writing. I personally don't love it, but I understand what he was trying to go for,
Yeah,
and that's why I like this movie. And honestly, I can understand why it's a box office hit, and that's why my rating is a box office hit. So, I guess you can say that, yeah, just like Ricardo, I'm going to be viewing this movie again for Halloween.
Yeah. And that's it!
Boo!
Lame, shut the fuck up!
I really am, Richie.